Hi everyone and welcome to Triple M Adventures with Bill. I had a comment in one of my videos for the RadioMaster TX16S that was asking about crow brakes. So here we go. This is how you set up crow brakes. Well, this is the way I set up crow brakes. Let's take a look at companion. Okay, we're going to open up my latest backup and crow model. Now, the first thing we need to have a look at is we need to go to the flight modes tabs. And what I've done, I've set up here and here the variables for the flaps and for the ailerons. So the flaps going down and the ailerons going up. So you could easily go into here and change those figures. And I've done it myself at the field. I've gone in there and quickly changed them in the menu. Okay, we're going to then move on to the mixes. Now the mixes, we of course with this would have 2 servos for the ailerons and 2 servos for the flaps. So the first one we're going to take a look at is how I set up the ailerons. So we've got our first aileron line, which in this case had to be a weight of -100 because the way the servos were installed. Or you'll see it's actually on my demonstration equipment that I've got. So it had to be minus, and there are no other adjustments in there. Then I had to add a line, and this line will give you the flaps. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon, will give you the ailerons going up. So here you can see the source is switch E. Then I've picked up the GV2 value, which is the value I showed you just a moment ago, which was, I think, was 40%. The offset is 0, and then you've got to pick the switch in the fully back position. Okay, then of course we have to do the same for the second aileron. So the second aileron, everything should be standard in there. And in this case, the weight had to be minus to make sure that the ailerons worked in the correct sense. Then we're going on to the additional line. And you can see I've then now picked the weight is the minus global variable 2. No offset, and the switch is in the fully back position. And you can, one thing I missed out is what I've done is we go down to here, you can see where it says slow. I put a 1.5 second delay in the up and down of the aileron. So it won't just suddenly go up, it will slowly rise up, but you'll see that when I do the demonstration. Okay, now let's move on to the flaps. Okay, so we're going to go to the first line because we've got 2 channels because of 2 servos. And you can see here that the source is switch E, then the GV1 value, which is set up for the flaps, and our offset has to be GV1 minus. And then in the switch selection, we have to select the switch in the mid position. Okay, and we move on to the second line. You're going to have to add a second line in. And in the second line, again, the source is switch E. Now the weight needs to be 0. And the offset needs to be minus GV1. And then we need to select the switch in the switch E in the back position. Okay, and then we repeat that for the second flap servo. So let's just quickly go in there. So we can see its source is switch E, the weight is minus GV1, the offset is plus GV1, and the switch is in the mid position. Okay, and then the second one is, so the second line is switch E, the weight has to be 0, the offset has to be GV1, and the switch you have to select is the switch E back. Now, the way this is set up so that is when that 3 position switch is in the forward position, there is no flap. When you pull the switch to the middle position, the flaps are just going to operate. When you move the switch into the complete back position, the flaps will stay in the flap position. So it's no flap, flap on, next one down, flap stay down, aileron comes up. Now we can go on to the special functions. Now what I did in the special functions was set up some sounds. So I put the switch forward, it's got the flap up sound.
Flaps up.
The switch E in the middle position,
flaps down,
and the switch E in the back position,
crow on.
and there we go. That's the settings within Companion. Now we're going to switch over to the radio, and I'll go through the settings there just in case you don't use Companion and you want to set it up directly on your radio, which is in fact how I actually did it. Now we hit the model key, and we're going to go page across until we get to global variables. So you can see GV1, which is for the flaps, and GV2, which is for the aileron going up. Now we can push enter, and we can enter again, and we can change this value. But let's put it back to 30 and push enter. Now we're going to go page back until we get to the mixes. Now the first line of each aileron channel, because there's two channels for the ailerons, one for the left, one for the right. So if we push enter, this is all standard. There will be no changes to what the default settings are. But in this case, the weight had to be a -100. That depends on the orientation of the servos in your plane. Okay, we're going to go back, but then you have to add a second line. Now this second line is where the switch tells the ailerons to go up. So if we edit, you can see I've selected the source is switch E, the weight is the GV2, offset is 0, and then the switch you have to select is the switch in the back position. Okay, we come out. And we go to the second servo for the ailerons, and the first one will be standard. Let's just go in there again. Oops, a daisy. It will be standard. It's the minus weight of 100, and it'll be basically, it's the standard setting for the model. Then we go into the second line where we get the flap going up on the switch S, and you can see the source is switch E. It's minus global variable 2, offset 0, and the switch has to be in the
crow on,
back position.
flaps down,
Okay.
flaps up.
So we're going to come out. Then we move on to the two channels for the flaps. Now again, there'll be two because there's two servos. So we push enter. Now on the first line, you're going to have the source is the switch E. You're then going to need to put the weight in as GV1 and the offset as minus GV1. Okay, so when the switch is forward, it means that the flaps are going to be in the middle, the center position, the default position. Okay, then we come out, then we go into line 2, and in line 2 it's switch E, the weight has to be 0 and the offset has to be minus GV1, and the switch in the back position. And then we repeat this for the second servo for the flaps. So you can see this is weight minus GV1, offset GV1, switch in the middle position. And then we go to the final one where we source is switch E, weight is 0, and the offset is GV1, and the switch is fully back. Okay. Then we would then go and set up the special functions, and you can see the special functions there. The first one for the flap up, second one for the flap down, and the third one for the crow on. So it's
Flaps down, crow on, flaps down, flaps up.
And there we go. That's all the settings you'll need to put in your radio to get crow brakes. Now let's demonstrate the crow brakes. Forward, you can see everything's in the normal position. Go to the middle position,
Flaps down,
flaps go down, go into the full back position,
crow on,
the ailerons will slowly rise. Go back to the center position,
flaps
the
down,
flaps will just be down, go fully forward, the flaps will come up. And if I put the crow brakes on,
crow on,
you can still see I can still use my ailerons. And
flaps down, flaps up.
there we go. Thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section below, because I'd love to hear from you. And please share this video with your friends. And please consider becoming a patron of my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Happy flying. Bye for now.